All right, so we've learned about protein synthesis, right? That it's the process of transcription and then translation. And we know that DNA is a code, all right? That code gets copied by mRNA. We have a way to decode that message using something called a codon chart. So that's what we're going to learn about today. We're going to be decoding mRNA so we can figure out what amino acids it actually codes for. So there's two charts that I'm going to show you today, but first we're going to start with this vocabulary word, amino acid. What's an amino acid? So remember, amino acids are what we string together to make a protein. There are actually 20 flavors, if you will, of amino acids. So these things are like the ingredients when we're making the cake. So it's amazing. There's only 20 possible ingredients that you can put together to make all of the proteins in your body. I was thinking about this. I thought, wow, that's crazy. But then I thought about actually baking. So if anybody in here is a baker, you know that in a recipe, in baking, you kind of always use flour, kind of always use sugar, eggs, maybe oil or butter, and a lot of the same ingredients. So this is kind of like that. We only have 20 ingredients to work with to make our recipe, our protein. So again, there's 20 different amino acids. And remember, 3 bases or a triplet codes for 1 amino acid. So this would be something like A, C, G. It codes for one of these, for one of those amino acids. So remember, our DNA is crazy long, right? And our body doesn't want to waste time copying extra code it doesn't need. So every single gene in your body has a start and a stop codon. So there's directions in the DNA. It says start copying this gene here and stop here. So we don't copy extra information. So you're going to see that when we are uncoding these pieces of mRNA, all right, or the message. You'll see a start and a stop, usually the beginning and the end. So again, remember, we take these amino acids, we form a chain of them, and then they fold up to form a protein. So we're trying to uncode what each amino acid is in that protein. So here comes our first codon chart. We will have we'll have 2 codon charts for you to look at and for you to use. You need to be comfortable with both of them. That's why I'm teaching them both to you. You might favor one over the other. I do. I like this one a lot. But we're going to teach you how to use both of them. So this chart, how it works, it looks like a bullseye or a circle. And how it works is you actually start in the middle and you work your way out. All right? So it's like a bullseye. You start in the middle, but you're going to find a path out of the center. So for example, I'll give you guys a quick example. Let's say my codon is C, make it easy, CCC, all right? So I'm going to find my first C in the center, all right? My first letter in the triplet, I'm going to look for it in the middle, all right? Now remember, I'm trying to find a path out. So my next letter, letter number 2, is also a C. So I'm going to I'm trying to go to the next ring, but I'm moving to the C that's closest to that internal C. So here we go, I'm moving out to this C right here. There's my first one. I'm moving out to my second one, and then my last letter is also a C. So I'm going to keep going out, and my answer is proline. So I started in the center, and I found a path outward, all right? I'm starting in the center, and I'm trying to find my way out, all right? That's how this works. If that was really fast, I'm going to show it to you again. Okay, so here we go. We've got an example of AUG. Here's the one I'm working on, AUG. Start in the middle, all right? So I'm going to find the big A in the middle. Here it is. I'm trying to go out, all right? So my next ring right here, I'm going to find that second letter, which is U. Here it is. You can see it. And then I need my last letter, which is G. So this codes for methionine. All right. And you can see I found a path out of the center of the circle. I'm going to do another one for you, and then it's going to be your turn to practice. All right. So our next example here is UCA. So I'm going to start in the center, right? I'm going to find that one in the center. It's U. I'm moving out. I'm moving away. My next letter is C. I'm moving out. There's the C. And then my last letter is A. So I'm going to move all the way out to this last ring. And my answer is serine. I'm just abbreviating for space and time. But as you can see, I found a path out of the center to get my answer. All right, so if our last chart wasn't your jam, that's totally okay because we've got another one for you. So this chart is similar to math class, okay? So in math class, you guys set up a coordinate plane, right? When you're making a graph, you have a value on the x-axis, a value on the y-axis, and then you get a point on your graph. That's kind of how this chart is set up. And so where you start is not in the center. It's a little different. You are going to start in this first column, or this first side. So this is where you're going to find the first base. And you can see they're here along the side, U, C, A, G. And that denotes a specific row where your answer is going to be. All right. Second base is found across the top. So here's number 2, and it's across the top. So we've got the U, C, A, G, right? So second base I'm going to find across the top, and it denotes a column where I'm going to find my answer. So I like to use this as like a coordinate plane, like when you are in math. So I find, my first base on the side, second base on the other side, and I'm going to find the box that they match up at. And I know my answer is going to be somewhere in that box. All right. Base number 3 is going to help me figure out exactly which answer that is. And so you can see the third base box doesn't only have one letter, right? There's like 4 possible different ones. And that is going to line up with a specific, let's say we're in this box right here, it's going to line up with a specific answer that you would find in that box. All of these line up for serine, but some of them might not. For example, here, if my last base is U, it codes for this amino acid. If my last base is G, it codes for this amino acid. So that last base is really important, like what we were talking about a little earlier. So we're going to do some practice problems because I know that was a lot of chicken scratch. So friends at home, make sure you're watching us in teams so you can see my crazy hand movements. Friends at school too, definitely just pause the distractions and watch me do it. Here we go. All right, our first one is AAU. So remember my first piece, I'm going to find on the side here. So I'm looking down and I see A right there. So there's my first one. Second base is also an A. So here we go. I'm going to come across the top. Sorry, I jumped ahead. I got so excited. And I can find my second base across the top. This is when we're going to have that coordinate plane happening. So So again, friends at home, check us out. We're going to find the point or the box where these intersect. So I know my answer is in this box. All right, I know that my answer must be in this box here, but I don't know which one it is. All right, so that leads me to my last letter, which is U. Okay, and so remember, I found my third base. I'm only interested in this row because I know that my answer is here. So I need to find the U in that row box. And there it is. So the correct answer is ASN. This is a code for an amino acid. We're not asking you to memorize the codes. If the question asks you about these codes, that's going to be the answer choices. I'm not expecting you to memorize these abbreviations. Okay? So if that was really fast, we're going to do it again, and then you're going to get a chance to practice. Here we go. I'm going to do it all again. All right. So first base is C. Remember, first is over here on the left side. So C. Okay, it found it. Now I need to find the second base, which is G. All right. Going across the top, that's where we find the second base. Looking for it, there it is. So now I'm going to do my coordinate plane, my matching. All right. And I can see that both of those match up at this box right here. So my answer is in there. As you can see for this one, the last base doesn't matter so much. So if I was on a test, I would already know the answer. But for the purpose of demonstration, I'll still do it. So my third base is A. So again, I know that my answer is in this box. So I'm only interested for the third side, this third section here. I'm only interested in this box. And my last letter is A, which would line up with ARG. So that's my answer. So again, how I use this chart, I line up my first and my second bases, find the box, and then finish it figuring out what that last base lines up with.